ladies, welcome to Coffee and a Vlog. I'm Jessica. If you guys don't know already, my channel is dedicated to motherhood, PCOS, vlogging, coffee, amongst many other things. But today's video, I'm going to be talking about something that's actually very personal to me, and I haven't really talked about this really ever with anyone. But I told you guys yesterday I was going to start a new series talking about PCOS, and there's going to be things like my story, infertility, which that's what this video is. It's about my infertility story. There's going to be videos on things you can eat, things you're not supposed to eat, and so forth. Now today's video is going to be talking about infertility, my infertility story. And I haven't really shared this with anybody, and I just feel like if I'm gonna do a series, I need to get personal and I need to talk about my story, especially when it comes to women who are going through the same thing that I went through. Let me give you a little bit of a back history. I got pregnant with my son, my oldest son, who's 12 now, when I was 16, and I had him when I was 17. That was pretty easy. Now I've had PCOS ever since probably about the age of 14 is when I started having problems, but when I got pregnant, that was probably the easiest way. And I was told that I was not allowed to have children, and if I did, then most likely they would not survive. So I gave birth to my son in April 7th, 2006. I actually got divorced and I got remarried to my kid's father now. I am so happy. I love him and I love my kids, but it was very hard in the beginning because I didn't quite know that I had this PCOS. I knew I had problems, but I didn't know, and I wasn't really aware that I actually had this syndrome. I didn't know if I could get pregnant again. I mean, in my head, I felt like, yeah, I could, but little did I know it would be a very hard journey, a very long journey actually. So in the year of 2011, it was about a week before Christmas, I felt very nauseous, and I ended up going to a health clinic just to get checked out. And they actually told me that I was pregnant. And I was shocked. You know, it was probably a good couple of months that it took for that pregnancy. So I ended up a week later on Christmas Day having a miscarriage. And it was very hard for me because I'd had one in the past, which was in the beginning before my son now. I had one. And that I thought was, well, I knew that that was because of the PCOS. So the second time that this happened, I was just like, okay, why? I remember crying. I called my mom. I was crying. And I'm like, you know, how could this happen? I was, I believe, 4.5 weeks pregnant. No, I was about 5 weeks pregnant when I found out, and then I was 6 weeks when I ended up having this miscarriage. After that, I kind of felt really horrible as a person, because this was my second miscarriage, and it was at a point where I was telling myself, what's wrong with me? Why am I having these miscarriages? I kind of put it in the back of my head. I was like, okay, fine, you know, I'm gonna let God's will. When it comes to infertility and PCOS and getting pregnant and having a miscarriage, it's our body's way of having an abortion, kind of. And I know that sounds wrong, and I'm against abortion 100%, but it's our body's way of kind of saying, hey, something's wrong with this baby and it's not going to live, it's not going to survive. So when we have a miscarriage, it's most likely because of that reason. That's what I have learned throughout this whole journey, and I've been told by doctors, and I've done studying. If God wants me to have a baby, he's going to bless me. He's blessed me this, you know, with my son, but if he's going to really bless me, I'll leave it in his hands. And it was about 2 years after that miscarriage that I ended up getting pregnant with my son, Alex. That was a blessing. Big blessing. I cried and I was so happy. In 2013, the beginning of 2013, I went to see a doctor. I think it was a doctor in medicine. And I told him my situation. I told him, look, I've had 2 miscarriages, I have a son, and we're trying to get pregnant again. And I remember talking to him and crying and saying, I just don't think that it's gonna happen. This was 2 years that I was trying. After that miscarriage, 2 years I was trying to get pregnant again. At first he asked me, he said, are you taking any vitamins? And I told him no, I wasn't taking any vitamins, which that's a good thing to do. It's very good to take vitamins. when you have PCOS, your body is missing certain vitamins, certain things that helps a baby grow, that helps the nurturing and nutrition and stuff. And the way that he explained it to me is to take a prenatal pill, but also take folic acid. And to this day, guys, literally, I live by that. For me personally, I believe that the folic acid is what honestly helped me conceive. But I'll tell you guys why I think that this is the reason. So anyway, so I started taking a prenatal and I started taking folic acid, and literally within the next month I ended up getting pregnant. And I'm like, yes, we finally have this baby. But at the same time I was very nervous because I was about the same weeks. Like I was 5 weeks when I found out. So the same amount of time when it came to my miscarriage before. At this time I'm working in a fast food restaurant, and I'm like, well great, if I, I'm too scared to lift anything. I'm too scared to do a lot of walking. Like I literally was afraid. I had to pray. I did a lot of praying, and I'm like, God, please, like this is something that I want more than anything. And I kind of felt like, don't take this thing away from me. Don't take this child away from me and this happiness that I have. And thankfully, throughout the pregnancy, everything was perfect, everything was smooth. I did have scares every now and then in the beginning, and a couple of times I did bleed a little bit. But when I went to the hospital, they had told me that it wasn't anything like a miscarriage. So that was kind of scary. And when I went to work, I would tell them like, look, I'm not lifting anything, I'm not doing anything heavy. They put me in a spot where it was very easy, and lots of water, lots of vitamins. So then I had my son. In your mind you think, okay, well I have this problem with PCOS, so how could I have another one? So literally after 2 years of not thinking about using protection and stuff, 2 years after my son, I ended up pregnant again. And the same thing, I actually was taking folic acid. Not planning to get pregnant or anything, but folic acid, and along with other vitamins, not necessarily multivitamin, but other vitamins with it, I was taking because I kind of felt this I didn't have any energy, I didn't have any feelings. I was just kind of like, I need something. My body's missing something. So I ended up taking up the folic acid and some other vitamins. And then honestly, right after, a month later, I ended up pregnant again with my daughter now. That's why I honestly think that folic acid is one of the reasons why, I ended up pregnant, no lie. Throughout this journey of infertility, and when we're young, we think about, oh my God, I could get pregnant, and the consequence. Like my story, I ended up pregnant at the age of 17. And then I didn't have a baby until the age of 24. And there wasn't a lot of protection in between. And it's like, the first time I got pregnant so easy, and then the second and the third time, it literally took 2 years for me of trying to be able to get pregnant and seeing doctors and things like that. And with my daughter, when I was pregnant with her, we did get a scare because I was told that I have something in my genes that could actually cause spina bifida. And that was very scary because then we went to the doctor, and the doctor said that they were kind of confused on something, and they did the ultrasound, and throughout the ultrasound she thought that she couldn't see skin, I guess the skin over the spine, and that was really terrifying. So I literally went 2 weeks of worrying and being scared, and I'm like, please God, don't let this happen. I tried so hard. I try to stay healthy, I try to exercise and things like that. And thankfully, after 2 weeks, they told me, look, it wasn't anything. We thought that we couldn't see it, but we ended up finding it. So that was good. So honestly, the Lord has blessed me so many times. In all of this, I just have to say that if you are experiencing fertility problems, there is a light. I believe that it's in God's hands, and He knows the perfect timing. As women, we kind of feel like, why is our body attacking us? Why is my body not doing what a woman's body should? And that's one of the hardest things about this is, in the back of your mind, you start to question. And that's why I started this series, because there's a lot of women who I think are in my situation, and not a lot of this stuff is talked about, and a lot of women actually go throughout their life not understanding what they have. And that's why I'm sharing my story. That's why I want to bring awareness to this, because there is a light, there is a reason. It's going to happen, and if it doesn't, don't let that get you down. It's great to have a support system, because when you have a support system, it's much easier to talk about things. It's much easier to understand that you're not alone. It's easier to find a balance. And I truly believe that, you know, the healthier we get, the healthier we make our bodies, the better it is for us to be able to carry a child. If you guys want me to talk about anything else about PCOS, I am going to make another video, and I'm hoping to post these videos Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that this helps somebody, and I hope that my story can influence you guys to not give up, that there's going to be a way to get through this, and that there's somebody here that understands what you're going through and is trying to find the answers so I can make it more comfortable for you in this situation. But anyway, if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. My whole goal with this is to bring awareness and to show you guys what you can do in order to heal PCOS. There is no cure for PCOS, but there is a way to manage it and to balance it out and find that balance. So that's all for the video today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video on this series. Bye.